You guys can look through here and see if you got the same thing. We did 1 and 2, right? So here's how I did number 3. And you can see if it's the same way you did it. I'll zoom out a little bit here. I did the complement deal. I like multiplying by the complement and not have to subtract. But either way, you can multiply by 0.2 and then subtract it away from 140. But you should still end up with $112,000 as your mortgage payment, or the amount you're going to mortgage. And then I found $9.45 as my table value. Did y'all find that as your table value for 25 years and 10.5%? So I took my $9.45 table value and times it by 112 because that's how many thousands I have, and I get a payment of $1054.40, $1058.40. Now that's going to be including your interest and your principal. And to find the interest, you simply just use I equals PRT. They're pretty rotten tomatoes. So I take the 112,000, 10.5%, 1/12 because it's just 1 month, just 1 month. Multiply that together, I get $980 in interest that I have to pay. And then just subtract that from the original, and it'll tell you what the principal was, $78.40. So, does those look all right, the mortgage ones? Y'all follow the tables and such? Page, they look all right? Did you skip over that one, or did you have that one? Okay. Number 4 is the same idea, except the only thing that's different is that I actually subtract from the principal and get my ending balance. But basically, the same idea. I took my down payment off, 15 grand, found my table value, wound up with $1,003.52. My table value I found was $7.84. Is that what you all got? Okay, $1,003.52. Did my whole I equals PRT, right? 28,000 times 9% times a 12th, 1 out of 12 months. $960 in interest and $43.52 in principal. And that $43.52 is what you take off your principal to give you a new balance of $127,956.48. Number 5 is the 16.1 stuff that we looked at after 16 section 1. So there's a $9,000 difference in the cash. So you take 9,000 divided by the original, which was 6,000. So 9,000 divided by 6,000. It's 150%. And then I subtract the two numbers again and get 20,500. And I divided by 18,500. And got the 110.81, and then I take my accounts payable here, subtract them, I get 8,000, divide by 4, I get 200. Remember, this is what they call the horizontal one instead of the vertical. The second one is the vertical balance sheet that they talked about. It's where you divide everything out. Gosh, there's a bunch of numbers, so I'm not going to say them all out, but basically, I added them all up and got my verdict. I'm doing this vertically now, and I found it was out $10,500. And then I divided each one of these by 10,500. I just didn't change my percentages over yet. That's basically what it is. This is the vertical one. So, yes, if you could finish up those balance sheets there.
Yeah, I did those things.
Okay, that's basically what I want you to do for 16.1 to be able to do it horizontally, which is just percent difference, and then mounting a percent increase or decrease, and then vertically. Number 7 starts all the depreciation stuff. So I took $86,000, subtracted away 6, and got $80,000, and I'm going to divide that by 10 years. So it's $8,000 a year that gets chopped off of that. You depreciate that vehicle $8,000 a year. I guess it's a vehicle, isn't it? What is it?
Machine.
Just a machine. Okay. So I went ahead and just took off 8,000, got a number, and took 8,000 off of that, got a number. You could have took 8,000 times 2, subtracted it from the original number, did the same difference. Right? 18 times 2 is 16. 8 times 2 is 16. You could have subtracted the 16 away. You got 70,000 too. So that's basically what I'm going to do for all these. I'm going to subtract off the residual value, or the, they call it residual value the whole way through. And then divide it by how many years you're going to, the life cycle is for it. And then depreciate that per year. So number 8's a car, right? And they bought a $25,000 car, and they said it has a residual value of $5,000. So you subtract away the $20,000, divide it by 5 years, and it's $4,000 a year you're going to take off. So I took off $4,000, and then I got a depreciated value of $3,000, $13,000, not $3,000, but $13,000 by the end of year 3. But they sold it for $11,000. So they lost $2,000 basically. So they can chalk that off as a loss. When I took off the residual value for this J-Core machine, I got $10,000. And just so happens that this thing has a lifespan of 10,000 units, so it's $1 per unit. That's the depreciation per unit, it's $1 per unit.
So depreciation should be $400.
So it depreciates $400 off the first year. It depreciates $400 off the first year. You only make 400 units. So just take $400 off. Does it ask for the actual depreciation or how much it would be?
That's
That's the last one for depreciation expense.
Okay, so it's $400. So I've got the answer in there. I had the wrong number circled. The depreciation expense was $400, and then the value of the machine was $14,600. I didn't read it too carefully, did I? Think so? I get so carried away with 7 because it asked for that, and then number 8 it asked for that, and I'm just keep on. So I better read more of the stories, and I want to try to read these carefully, right? What I usually would do though, if it was me taking the test, I would I make sure I underlined, where the questions were. Make sure I answered all the pieces. Basically, I'd underline them. Paige, you said you worked with some people where you wanted to, like dyslexic learners, I think. You do like underlining things.
Yeah.
That's what you said. That's a pretty good way of thinking of things, right?
Yeah.
Trying to underline it.
For
Do you do that too?
Yeah, I'm dyslexic.
Okay. So it's real helpful. You don't have to. It helps everybody. I don't think it's just a good test taking skill. I think. I could be wrong.
You either have a highlighter or something just to make sure.
Yeah, a highlighter is much better, right? Yeah. Well, on A, it's not really straightforward, but it basically, this thing is, it was bought on July 3rd. July is the 7th month, right? June is 6th. July 7th. So what I do is I write down up to 7, and I say, well, it's before the 15th, so I count it, right? It has to be before the 15th. So I'm gonna include July. So I draw me a little line right behind July. I've got 6 months behind me, so that means there's 6 months in front of me. So there's 6 months here that needs to be taken care of. So I have a $3,000 per year depreciation, right? Take away 16 minus 1,000 divided by 5, 3,000 a year. And then just take it 6 times 12. 6 over 12 is half. So you take away $1,500 that year. And what would the book value be, though? So I tell you what would happen is somebody might pick D, right? Because it said 1,500, but that's not supposed to be what the answer is. Did you do that, Lisa?
Yeah,
Did you?
I was like, wait a second, the book guy is going to do that.
See it? Yeah, make sure if you show all your work. So if you show all your work and it's multiple choice, I can still give you partial credit on multiple choice if you show all your work. So make sure you answer them. And you answer them that way. So. And I went ahead and I filled my little table in here underneath it. I didn't really. The cost, remember how the cost, we don't change the cost, and it changes. The depreciation expense never changes on a straight line method, but it does accumulate. Yeah, the book value. So basically I can check the last number. If the last number is good, then the rest of it is good. So 18.4 is I got the last number for that year, for the third year. Just taking off $1,700 a year. 40 minus 4, 36,000 divided by 5, $7,200 a year. Land's the only thing that doesn't depreciate. You can't depreciate the land. That's just what they say. You're not allowed to depreciate land. Units of production is not based on time. The units of production is not based on time. And 11 months is what you would count, because you're going to include February, right? So that means I'm not going to include January. So 11 out of 12. What about the last one there? What did you guys get?
Last one, you got to find out what you take, like 8,000 minus 1,000, 7,000, and divided that into 70,000, like 8 cents a mile, kind of 15,000 miles, about $1,800.
So we're getting away from that dollar per unit thing. That's so kind of straightforward. 10 cents a month is what the heck is appreciated.
How's this?
That's a good review of it. That's a good review of it, yeah. That's what this is technically what we've done. I mean, we've done all this.
Count this and this.
No, we better not do that. But this will be part of your homework grade. Okay? So you turn it after the, okay, sure.